Welcome to German History with a German accent. My name is the Wolf, W-O-L-F, just like the animal, and in today's video I'm speaking about Kurt von Hammerstein-Equord. Please do me the favor and like this video if you enjoy it, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Kurt Gebhard Adolf Philipp Freiherr von Hammerstein-Equord was born on September 26, 1878 in Heinrichshagen, which today is in North or Northeast Germany. As his last name indicates, he was a member of a German noble family, the von Hammerstein-Equord line, that can be traced back into the 17th century into the Rhineland, where there was a Hammerstein castle. In von Hammerstein's youth, he joined the Cadet Corps when he was only 10 years old, and 5 years later he came to the main Cadet Corps in Berlin-Lichterfelde. Von Hammerstein served in the Prussian 3rd Foot Guards Regiment as an officer. In this position, he met Kurt von Schleicher, who would later become a general and the last Reichschancellor of the Weimar Republic, before the guy in the brown uniform took over. And that as a side note, in future videos I will no longer use certain names or symbols to avoid unwanted repressions. I'm fully aware that that will be upsetting to some viewers, and I would like to apologize for the inconvenience. But now let's get back to Mr. von Hammerstein. Before the First World War, he attended the War Academy in Berlin and served in different staff positions, including the Greater General Staff. He also married the daughter of Walter von Lüttwitz in 1907. General von Lüttwitz was one of the main characters of the Kapp-Lüttwitz coup, or Kapp-Lüttwitz putsch of 1920. I made a separate video about this incident and will link it in the top right corner of this video. During the First World War, Kurt von Hammerstein-Equord commanded a company on the Western Theater, which he would receive the Iron Cross for before he took over adjutant and staff duties for the remainder of the First World War. As mentioned earlier, von Hammerstein was the son-in-law of Walter von Lüttwitz, who tried to overthrow the German government in 1920. What I didn't mention is that von Hammerstein was actually serving in von Lüttwitz's corps at this time, but instead of supporting the coup, Kurt von Hammerstein transferred out of von Lüttwitz's corps. In the 1920s, he advanced to the rank of Major General and replaced Werner von Blomberg as Chief of the Truppenamt. The Truppenamt was the concealed general staff of the Reichswehr, concealed because the Treaty of Versailles forbade the German army to have a general staff. The reason von Blomberg was replaced by von Hammerstein was von Hammerstein's resistance to political extremism. He also favored a more defensive tactical approach to military conflicts, awaiting assistance from the League of Nations. Under his leadership, the first mobilization plan since 1923 was developed that would have tripled the number of infantry divisions from 7 to 21. On November 1st, 1930, Kurt von Hammerstein-Equord was also appointed as the commander-in-chief of the Reichswehr, holding the rank of General of the Infantry. In this position, he developed a rearmament program that called for recruiting 42 more divisions. His position to the Brown movement in the Weimar Republic, and especially the Austrian Lance Corporal with the mustache, led to his exclusion out of the Reichswehr in 1933. Von Hammerstein put in his resignation with Paul von Hindenburg in October 1933 and retired the following January at the rank of Generaloberst. Like his opposition to the Kapp putsch in 1920, he also stated to the man with the mustache that he would only tolerate him if he came to power legally. Diverse sources claim that von Hammerstein spoke to von Hindenburg to avoid the leader of the NSDAP to become Reichschancellor, but it's also said that he believed not permitting the political right, at which point, by the way, the strongest faction in the parliament, to form the government, that a massive resistance and even a civil war could break out in the Weimar Republic. Nevertheless, even before the Austrian Lance Corporal would become the Chancellor of Germany, Werner von Blomberg was named Reichswehrminister and therefore became von Hammerstein's superior. Kurt von Hammerstein-Equord survived the Night of the Long Knives in 1934, also called the Röhm Purge, where the ruling members of Germany eliminated political opponents. I also made a video about this event. Some say von Hammerstein survived because Paul von Hindenburg insisted so. Others say it was because the Reichswehr officers protected him. No matter which scenario is true, in the aftermath of this purge, August von Mackensen and Kurt von Hammerstein-Equord tried to reach the Reichspräsident Paul von Hindenburg personally to initiate an investigation of the Röhm Purge. This was driven because the Reichswehr generals von Schleicher and Bredow did not survive this action. A speech in the Reichstag was held to falsely accuse the generals of cooperating with Röhm to legitimize their actions. But this caused a resistance in the military that made the leader of Germany concede. Kurt von Schleicher and General Bredow were silently rehabilitated. However, the Austrian Lance Corporal forbade officers to attend their funerals. Von Hammerstein, still a member of the reserves, ignored this order and attended as the only officer. He did so again in 1939 when Wilhelm Gröner passed away. In the years 1938 and 1939, Kurt von Hammerstein-Equord participated in several planned coups against the leader of Germany. In 1938, he was part of the so-called Oster conspiracy, where generals Oster, Halder, von Witzleben, and Beck planned to overthrow the government and arrest the Austrian guy with mustache because of his aggressive territorial expansion ideas. But when the Munich Agreement succeeded and the Sudetenland was awarded to Germany, the reason to overthrow the government was no longer given. With the beginning of the Second World War, von Hammerstein was activated and served on the Western Theater, where he repeatedly invited the leader of Germany to visit the front lines, which he never did. Ludwig Beck stated that von Hammerstein-Equord intended to arrest the Austrian Lance Corporal or even predicted a fatal accident. Although sent to retirement in late September 1939, he also participated in the Zossen conspiracy. This conspiracy started by the intention of Germany's leader to immediately attack France after the Poland campaign was completed, against the advice of leading generals. This plan included to warn the Allies and arresting the man with the mustache. The beginning of the Western campaign, however, was delayed so many times that this reason also became obsolete. Up until his death in 1943, Kurt von Hammerstein-Equord hosted meetings with members of the resistance in his residence. Prominent guests were Ludwig Beck, Erwin von Witzleben, and Wilhelm Canaris. His sons Konrad and Ludwig von Hammerstein were both involved in the July 20th plot. Like many others, their surviving family members were incarcerated by the regime. However, all of them survived the war. Kurt von Hammerstein-Equord died on April 24, 1943 in Berlin due to cancer at the age of 64. Thank you for watching this video, and again, please hit the like button if you enjoyed this content.